From 2009 to 2015, millions of innocent viewers were made victim to the hit Fox show, Glee. These are their stories. I was 9 when it happened. I was visiting my cousin in the Persian Quarter of Beverly Hills. We would play this game called The Hague, where we would pretend that our stuffed animals were on trial for crimes against humanity. This was before I was medicated. During one of these sessions, my cousin said, "Hey, have you heard of this show called Glee?" My parents didn't let me watch TV at the time because they thought it was a gateway to liberalism, so I said no, and she went, "Oh, okay, well then you're in for a treat." Letting her hit play on that DVD collection will easily go down as one of my biggest regrets. It started out fine, you know, I didn't agree with the message of encouraging children to follow their dreams or whatever, but some of the performances were fun. But then there was this one episode where Mr. Schuester, he begins, I'm sorry, this is really hard to talk about. Excuse me. He begins to serenade that OCD ginger with the thong song. And I was in utter disbelief. I said, "Isn't this a show for tweens?" As he hit a vocal run for the line, "I like it when your booty go," my body just went into shock. I was laying on the floor at this point. My breathing was labored. I reach out to my cousin and she goes, "Can you not do that? You're violating my personal space." But then I just thought, you know what? It's okay. It's over. You're safe now. And as I slowly began to rebuild my strength, that's when the second attack happened. They'd begun performing Toxic by Britney Spears, and this grown man had inserted himself into their performance, inappropriately gyrating around with students. There were so many vests. I just began screaming, "Turn it off. Please, please turn it off. I can't take this anymore." My cousin was freaking out. She fumbles the remote, and I'm screaming at her, "Just unplug the TV!" At this point, I'm writhing around on the floor like a wounded animal. And when they began assaulting those fedoras, I blacked out. I came to with my cousin fanning me with a copy of J14 magazine. I've never actually talked about this experience before, but thankfully we're at a long overdue moment in our culture where stories like mine are finally coming out. To all other victims of Glee, just know, you're not alone. If there's one thing you can't be online, it's either cringe or chopped. For all of you that are over 28 years old, chopped just means ugly. You can be a terrible person, but if you can make the public giggle, or if you just have bone structure that would make a sculptor weep, people will eventually take their foot off your neck. But if you're just mildly annoying, good luck, Charlie. One of the most fascinating cringe, quote-unquote, cases that has made a quiet return is the case of Mr. Matthew Morrison via Cameo.
Hey divas! Matthew Morrison here. Matthew Morrison, flip it around, Wicked Witch. I have no idea what that means, but listen, getting hit by a car is no joke. She said you might want me to rap. Wouldn't do this normally, but you're a special case, so here we go. Probably the only time in my life I get to say this, but I'm gonna rap about staying away from moving vehicles. Tell me something good. Yeah. Okay.
His videos are just so delicious yet tart. They're like a meringue or a lemon square. They elicit an emotion in me that I don't think I've ever experienced. And frankly, after watching them, I experienced somewhat of an existential crisis. Cameo has served as a sort of floundering career safety net for many icons of our era, such as Congressman and Barb George Santos.
There is no such thing as diva down, okay? It's always diva up. So please continue to slay and continue to have a great career and do all the wonderful things you do.
I've personally dabbled in making these kinds of videos. Cut me some slack, okay? 2023 was a dark year and mama needed the money. Speaking of dinero, it is the new year, and this holiday season I was going a little crazy with the purchases because your girl got a little bit of coin now. Not that much. So my goal is to get a better handle on budgeting and just cutting back on unnecessary spending. I would try and do this in the past, but struggled. I'd set unrealistic expectations for my budgeting because, like many people, I wasn't aware of my actual spending habits. That's why I'm excited to announce this video sponsor, Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you save time managing your finances by allowing you to cancel subscriptions, track spending, and create custom budgets all in one place. Rocket Money also broke down my expenses. It did make setting realistic budgets a lot easier. Personally, I was always dissatisfied with the monthly or end of year statements that I would get from my banks because they would rarely categorize my expenses correctly. The Rocket Money combined all of my cards and accounts in one place, so everything is streamlined. I can manually categorize all of my expenses tailored to my specific job as a content creator and what my business expenses look like. I love making little labels, a cute little emoji next to it. Ugh. One of my other favorite features is this spending calendar that shows you exactly when all of your upcoming payments are scheduled, so I always know the exact amount I need to keep in certain accounts to be able to pay off my credit cards and my other business expenses. It just makes everything so much easier. So please go to rocketmoney.com/crouton to start your free premium trial. You can also click on the link in my description. Okay, back to the video. Cringe is an interesting topic because I don't mind cringy people. I quite enjoy them. I am one of them to many. So perhaps my sympathy towards this oppressed class, yes, oppressed, deservedly so at times, but oppressed nonetheless, is partially rooted in self-interest. But online, there is a spectrum to the spectacle of cringe. On one end, you have the light-hearted entries. Take Hilary Duff's technically correct, but completely unenthusiastic dance break to her song With Love. You kids do not remember her music career. Ugh, she had some bops. It was a fun meme. Hillary got in on the joke. Like, it wasn't that deep. The dance still scratches a very specific part of my brain. It's so relaxing to watch. So many elbows. So much business casual. On the more concerning end are the drive-by cyberbullying victims. When you see a video that has more shares than likes, oh, you know it's bad. Sometimes it feels like, remember when y'all were in middle school and there was a kid that was getting picked on and they did not know that people were laughing at them and not with them? And you would just stand there because you're fundamentally a coward and you think, wow, I am a complicit bystander. What would I have done during World War II? At least when you went out of your way to become famous, you know, like being a public figure, the price of fame comes with the potential for backlash or critique. But when you're just a civilian, that makes me feel worse for them. Matthew Morrison falls into a unique category where it was his star-making vehicle of Mr. Schuester from Glee that seems to be the root of people's dislike for him. The pilot episode had this man manipulating a child into joining Glee Club by planting substances in his locker and basically dangling his future in front of him. That's his introduction. The 3 egregious counts of white rap were lower level offenses. You know, that was just fans being like pedantic, but they didn't help.
Did you know there's a forum on my blog that's begging you to stop rapping?
Wait, the kids don't like it when I rap?
Now, on some level, I do feel for Matthew Morrison, the actual actor, because he didn't do any of these things. Arguably, he played the archetype of the sort of over-enthusiastic theater kid turned adult that is Mr. Schuester pretty accurately. Eminem just did his job. He's a talented man. He can sing a little tune. He can throw down on the dance floor. The dance break in Bust a Move still makes me giggle, but you can't deny, the man can actually dance. If I tried to do this, by the way, all you would hear is the creaking and cracking of my joints. Sue was right, though. He also has like conspicuously thick hair, like peanut butter. I want to eat it with a little spoon. But because Mr. Schuester and Broadway Grinch are his biggest roles that people associate him with, the cringe lines get blurred. A few weeks ago, I stumbled upon a little video on my TikTok, and whose Shayna Punnam do I see on my cracked screen but my boy Maddie? I say Shayna Punnam, but like, if anything, Matthew Morrison comes off as like aggressively goyish.
Matthew Morrison, flip it around, Wicked Witch, let's go. And because you both love Glee and Wicked so much, here's a little tiny musical moment just for you. Tell me something good, 'cause I'm defying gravity.
When I saw this video, I had to stop mid-poop, because I did not know how to feel. I was so taken aback by the vibe of the video. You know, it has a similar feel to this Vine.
Shower time, Adderall, a glass of whiskey, and diesel jeans.
What adds to it is the fact that all cameos have the vibe of like a hostage video. It feels like somebody's holding a gun to his head off camera, which kind of makes me like it more. Now, my editor Hayley coincidentally texts me about these cameos, and I told her, oh, I'm aware he's making them. I couldn't stop watching them.
Hey Abby, Matthew Morrison here. Sending you so much love from Grace. She told me what happened. Wow. First of all, I'm glad you're okay. Getting hit by a car is no joke. And the fact that you're here, that you're healing, and still bringing joy to the people who love you says a lot about your strength. Grace wanted me to send you a little something uplifting. She said you might want me to rap. And we probably wouldn't do this normally, but you're a special case, so here we go. It's probably the only time in my life I get to say this, but I'm gonna rap about staying away from moving vehicles. All right, here we go. Yo, Abby, listen up. You're a superstar, but girl, please don't go wrestling cars. We want you safe. We want you well. So stay on the sidewalk. That's a story to tell. Sorry, that was ridiculous.
Imagine you're laying in your hospital bed and your sister plays this for you. I'd heal immediately. People are playing with him at this point because, like, you're asking him to rap for your sister that's just been hit by a car. What are you meant to do with this prompt? Hey girl, I just wanted to let you know. Look both ways next time. I mean, that's what I would have done. You know, watching some of these, I don't know how much he was acting in Glee. You can tell at this point, he is self-aware as to what the fandom thinks of him, right? Like, he's definitely leaning into the caricature.
Hey divas! Matthew Morrison here. Liv reached out and told me that the bond you all have is something that's really special to her and that you all connected over Glee. First of all, I love that for you. Second, I hear your favorite number was Tell Me Something Good. In honor of the divas, tell me something good. Yeah. Okay. Liv wanted me to let you have that as a special holiday treat.
The fact that he's having fun with them, that's what makes these videos so scrumptious. It's like chicken noodle soup for my chronically online soul. They're so awkward, yet so endearing.
Hayden. I was gonna say hey Hayden, but that sounds like hey hey from like Moana, you know? Hey Hayden. Matthew Morrison here. Catherine told me that you've been going through a lot lately. And since she told me this song would cheer you up, I had to learn it because I don't know this song. Can you whistle, baby, whistle, baby? No, no, no. I don't know. Just a quick little moment to bring you a smile. Hayden, hang in there.
The awkward laughs.
Welcome, Emily. I've been waiting for you.
The random interjections. I still can't get over the hey divas.
Hey divas!
That's gonna go in the audio stems rotation. I have never had my emotions like ping pong as to how I feel about a video so many times in the span of 1 minute. I got whiplash. But because these videos are usually gifts, he always ends it with like a little heartfelt note.
Better days are ahead. You got people around you who are cheering you on every step of the way. And happy holidays.
And the people usually posting these videos are the recipients of these as Christmas or birthday gifts, or, you know, like as a sorry you got hit by a car gift. Wouldn't it be hysterical if it turns out he was the one driving that car? It was a hit and run, so he like did not take accountability for it. Oh my gosh, that would have been the cherry on top. You can tell all the people posting these Cameo gifts are so tickled, like you can tell they thoroughly loved them. There's an odd warmth to them. And maybe it's because in some of them he's just wearing a sweater and there's like a really nice looking Christmas tree behind him. Oh, you know he's festive. Ugh, he probably makes like cinnamon hot cocoa. I need to step my Christmas game up. But it also feels like I'm simultaneously being held hostage and he's forcing me to listen to him sing. But I can't even hate. I'd rattle my shackles and say encore. I don't think any content online has ever made me feel these mix of emotions. And the reaction by the public was also a mixed bag. Many people like me actually found these to be enjoyable, and were also like oddly fascinated by them. A lot of people were just deeply uncomfortable, and some were just downright vicious. You know, sometimes I will see people hating online, and I think, do y'all really feel that strongly about this person? Or was like the kernel of, you know, not even hatred really you had for them, but like a sort of casual dislike, ratcheted up by the online hate train? Because once you hitch a ride onto that thing, it does something to you mentally. Because now it's like a meme to hate on this person, right? But once the dust settles, you kind of look back and go, I don't know if that person really deserved that much slander. Being famous is such a Twilight Zone episode. Like, I mean, it's self-inflicted. Because you expect people to judge you based on your, like, I don't know, your talent or your scandals. But instead, it's just a slew of Gen Zers issuing a trigger warning before you sing. You think they included that in his PR training? I couldn't stop wondering as to why his cameos were eliciting such a bizarre reaction in me. Like, a part of me enjoyed them for the campy goodness that they are. But at other times, I was flinching so hard hard. There were little things that he did that made me feel like somebody was like kicking me at the base of my spine. But why? What was at the root of my cringe? Cringing is a reaction rooted in empathy. It's very primordial. Like, please, stop acting like that. If the other tribe's people find out that you're weird, they're gonna leave you in the woods to die. So it functions as a means of enforcing societal norms. Can I be real for a moment? I think I saw a glimpse of myself in him. I felt this fear that people perceived me as cringe. A fear that perhaps my overzealous desire to perform would also be received negatively. An inherent shame that maybe I am also an overgrown theater kid. Even though I was actually a speech and debate kid, which is even more unforgivable. These cameos were like holding up a mirror to my subconscious. A cracked, glitter-encrusted mirror from Claire's boutique. I thought back to all of the embarrassing content that I willingly posted of myself online. Part of the humiliation ritual that is being a content creator. The number of videos, primarily short form, that I've privated out of sheer shame and embarrassment. That I can't bear to watch because they make me physically recoil. I had constructed a cage of cringe for myself, and these cameos had my subconscious rattling the bars of that enclosure. It was something inside of me that yearned to be free. So I decided to face my fears head on, and I watched all of his cameos, Clockwork Orange style. Okay, I MK Ultra'd myself. By the 5th hour, Matthew and I merged consciousnesses. We sang together, did the jitterbug. There were so many show tunes. A Judy Garland melody was lightly playing in the background, and indeed, there were many vests. We debated passionately about whether or not Cats was given a fair shake by critics because musical theater elites don't give choreography the credit that it deserves. Even though that's not even my own opinion, I just read that somewhere. By the end, I embraced the cringe. I let it wash over me until it no longer made me feel uncomfortable. When I embraced Matthew and all his awkward corniness, I really embraced myself. I'd always held the key to my own cringe cage. I just needed the courage to set myself free. And I'd argue that the foundation to the Matthew Morrison cringe hate train, or whatever you want to call it, isn't just the vitriol towards Mr. Schuester, the character. And to Matthew's credit, it's not as if he isn't aware of how odd the character's actions were.
The Glee Club would have welcomed you with open arms and probably a wildly inappropriate assignment from me. So
I think that some of these people are also projecting their own repressed insecurities. Who are the biggest modern day critics of MM? Flip it over, Wendy Williams. You know that he would have done that if he was a guest on her show. I digress. Most of these individuals were previous Glee watchers. OG viewers probably, so their trauma is deeply entrenched. Who are disproportionately theatrical, or musical theater choir adjacent. At the heart of being the theater kid archetype, which is a subsection under the general attention whore umbrella, is an unbearable eagerness to not just perform, to be seen, to be validated, to also show off. And that eagerness, it comes with this sense of desperation that is so palpable. Just walking by an open door to a rehearsal room at your school, you could taste it. It's kind of acidic. Made even more devastating by the fact that maybe 1/10 of these kids actually had the goods. Higher odds if they were a girl because they actually had more competition. But the sheer memory of having been one of those kids, that to this day, every time they read the name Eliza, all they can hear is Eliza! And that first note will instinctively leave their lips, and they have to swiftly cover their mouth in shame every time they hear Matthew giggle or sing a little tune that may or may not have been requested. They get a glimpse into who they once were. The difference is that unlike us, he's free. He's embraced who he is in all its hair-gelled glory. Made a career out of it too, and a bag. In a way, don't we all aspire to be Matthew Morrison? Now some of y'all might be thinking, girl, it's really not that deep. He's just kind of corny. Shush. The mentally ill are speaking. It is that deep to me. And if you get it, you get it. Also, to answer your question, I'm not in therapy. They're never gonna get me. Also, my insurance doesn't cover it. And with that, we are violently yanked back into reality. How do you think that MM feels about his reputation? Because I get the vibe that he does not care. Honestly, would you though? Like, he has more of a career than most people. And unless he's got like a gambling issue that we're unaware of, he made a good chunk of change. He still got his looks. He still got all his hair, his family, I hope. The people talking the most smack about him, I mean, statistically speaking, are probably doing worse. You know what I mean? Like, they're clocking in at Buffalo Wild Wings, refreshing their phone to see if their situationship texts them back. So yeah, he's probably doing fine. He's currently doing a concert series, Rhythms and Revelations. Oh, and he changes his hat several times during that performance. Now, I personally wanted to end this video with a cameo from the man himself, but they are $249. I'm not buying that. You know what? If people are willing to pay that much money, lean into it, Matthew. Milk it for all that you can and then dip. The reviews are pretty good, so you can tell the common folk are really loving it. So hats off to you, MM. Knowing you, it'll be a fedora. Tell me something good. I don't know why I say that like he's gonna be watching this. Maybe he will. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Were you a former Glee fan? If you're watching me, you probably were, let's be real. How do you feel about these cameos? Are you tempted to buy one? I know some of y'all were until I told you how much they cost. As always, thank you for watching. Shout out to my top patrons. If you would like to donate to my Patreon, then please click on the link in the description or on screen. If you'd like to support me on my Patreon, I upload new videos pretty much every week. I have several years of back catalog. It's a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily do that well on here, but that I think you guys would like. So please support your girl if you can and if you want to. You know, it's like no pressure, but if you don't, I'll cry. Thank you to my other lovely patrons. Your names should be scrolling on screen as I speak. Bye.